Domo arigato, geek to me radio, da 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 da. Domo arigato, geek to me radio, da 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 da.
Welcome, 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 geeks and nerds, girls and boys, to another all-new edition of Geeks Me Radio. Today we have actor-director Alana de Freitas talking all about some of her projects, movies that she's got out, other ones that are coming out, ones you'll want to watch for. We're then joined by Rachel Pinnelas, the community manager for SerialBox.com, talking Thor, Metal Gods, and more projects from them. Stand by.
We're talking TV, comics and movies, and video games. And if you don't know Star Trek from Star Wars, we'll try to explain. There are 12 doctors for Hogwarts houses, one ring rules them all. To be the greatest Pokemon master, you must catch them all. You must catch them all. Try to catch them all. Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
And we have a fantastic show with two very talented ladies. We're going to get right to our first guest. We're joined now by Alana de Freitas talking about some acting roles she's got coming up and reflecting a little bit about some of the stuff she's already done. Alana, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks very much for taking the time today.
No worries.
So, interesting. I've looked at some of the stuff on your IMDb resume. You've got some fantastic projects coming up, working with some really talented people like Michael Madsen, Colin Cunningham for some of these projects. I know you can't say too much about them, probably contractually, but talk a little bit about you're going from one is almost a horror type movie into another, which is a comedy. What kind of projects do you gravitate towards generally? Are you more of a drama comedy person? Do you like the horror aspect? What do you kind of gravitate towards as an actor?
Ooh, good question. I probably lean towards drama, but I will say that the last film that I did before The Dawn was kind of heavy drama, and then getting to work on some other things like horrors and comedies after that, I definitely needed to like switch it up. It was a nice relief to go back to the comedy and that sort of thing. But yeah, I think my kind of preference just is in drama, only just though.
You need those comedic palate cleansers. I'm doing drama all the time, and I'm sure would you need a little bit of a change up. So that's good.
Yeah, it burns you out a little bit. The other thing is like, I think people underestimate how difficult comedy is, and maybe my preference of drama is just linked to my own insecurities about my ability with comedy. Like, comedy is definitely harder with drama than drama. It's so much harder to make it land.
So do you think it's in the timing? Because obviously it seems like some actors do it effortlessly, and then there are other people you watch do comedies who are like, oh, that could be intriguing. What do you think is the secret to that as an actor?
I think it's timing. I think it's just a natural ability. And the other thing is, like, comedy is so subjective. Like, what I find funny, other people will find crass or whatever. So, yeah, it's tricky to, like, get it to land with everybody or, like, the majority as well.
Yeah, I know I've got a little bit of a dark sense of humor, I've been told. So some stuff I'll just keep to myself and not say a word because people are going to judge me for it. I'll just laugh internally. It's fine. But people who know me realize, all right, I can tell what you're thinking just by the look on your face. So as far as acting-wise, comedic actors, who are some of your favorite comedic actors? Who do you like to go see that you'll always follow their work and everything like that?
You know, I don't have like genre-specific actors. Like, if you were going to say generally who are my kind of go-to favorite actors, like in terms of men, I would say like Denzel or like Sean Penn. In terms of women, I mean, I love Sally Field.
Of course, yeah.
And Amy Adams has had like a tremendous career. I really admire her trajectory there. I also really like some of the choices that Michelle Williams makes.
Yeah.
So those would kind of be like my go-to favorite peeps.
And you've been acting since the age of 9. My goodness. What drew you into that? What kind of prompted you at an early age? Was it something your parents kind of steered you in? Is it something you drug them towards?
It's funny. I was talking about this yesterday. I think, I started acting school when I was 9, but I was always kind of acting before that. I would sit down and transcribe my favorite films and then force my brother and my cousins to put on little shows for my grandparents and stuff. So I don't really remember what got me into it. But I just have always kind of liked doing it. And I think, for me, people always ask, like, what is it about acting that you enjoy? And I think it's, you get to try on all these other lives. And then get to give them back.
That's right.
You're not stuck with the consequences of them all.
And talking about consequences, Before the Dawn, you play a teacher. It's a forbidden teacher-student relationship. That's one of those. I'm sure it was kind of nice to give that back with the forbidden relationship in that. But getting into that character, because it is a weighty type of piece. To do that kind of role. So talk a little bit about your mindset as you went into that particular role for Before the Dawn.
If I'm being completely honest, my prep for that film was different to any other film because I wrote it. And the reason I wrote it was because I wasn't seeing the types of roles that I wanted to play. They were all like, full frontal nudity or like the dumb girlfriend. So I was like, screw it. I'm going to go and write what I want to work. And I was lucky enough that people liked it and put funding into it and it got made. But because, we had like a crazy tight pre-production period before we started shooting, like that was consumed by the logistics of it rather than actually prepping for the role. So I'll say this, I'm so lucky that I wrote it and I knew the material inside and out because I didn't really have time to prep my character. And in terms of like the mindset, I think because I'd sat with it for so long writing it, like I was lucky that I didn't have to sit down and do all the work because it had been done in the writing process. And I think, in terms of, obviously we all know that the teacher-student relationship thing is wrong. And I think you just tap into those feelings. Like we all know the feeling of like when we've done something wrong and like, am I going to get caught? And like that kind of fear. But then she's also struggling with the, like, she really has feelings for him and that kind of push-pull and the struggle there. That was really interesting to kind of grapple with. And I'm lucky that my co-star, Jared Scott, he's super charismatic. So it was very easy to like manufacture that chemistry between the two of us.
And Before the Dawn, that's available for streaming on Amazon Prime. It's also one official selection for Boston International Film Festival. You got a few film festivals with some great recognition for that. So congratulations to have written and starred in that. Must feel at such a young age, you must feel very accomplished already. That's got to be an amazing feeling. It's been a very pleasant surprise. I will say that. I will say this as well. Like, I mean, it's great to get the accolades from myself, but I also just feel very proud of like the team getting it and Jared getting awards as well because, in a way we were providing, it was a really indie film, micro budget, and we were providing people with the opportunity to work on their first feature film. Like it was Jared's first lead role as well. And getting to see that pay off for them, that's a really nice feeling too. And it's interesting, you talked about you didn't see enough roles that you wanted out there, so you created it. It's a great time for people who are gravitating with all the streaming platforms, and we've talked about this with other guests. People are hungry for these indie projects, the smaller projects. So it's almost the perfect storm, having done this almost at the perfect time, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I actually just this morning was reading an article about because all the big studios and stuff are creating their own streaming platforms that they're going to start pulling out of your Netflixes and whatnot, and that leaves an opening in Netflix, for example, where they're going to be like crying out for content. So for independent filmmakers, it's now is the time. I was probably a little bit ahead of it because we shot this 2 years ago. But yeah, I mean, it's something we'll definitely still be exploring now with our distributor for sure.
So as someone who's on the acting side, but you got the writing on this part and everything like that, is that something you are now hungry to do more, write and create more parts and kind of not take a step back from the acting, but seeing it from a new perspective? Is this something you hadn't considered before, coming to LA, growing up as a young actor, now that you are kind of wanting to do more writing, or was it kind of still an even split for you?
It's funny. I had never considered myself a writer, and like I said, it was born out of pure necessity and frustration. But I did really enjoy it, and I have done some writing since. And there will be more projects on the way. I have 2 projects that I'm working on at the moment. I have a documentary that's in development that I've been working on for the past year. And then I also have a horror screenplay at the moment that we're starting to pitch. So that's fun. And I have like a number of other ideas that are in various stages of development. So working on a number of things. Definitely acting is the priority for sure. But it's surprised me how much I enjoyed writing. And then once you sort of start opening your mind up to that kind of battleground of ideas, they just keep coming and coming and coming. Like my phone is just full of notes for like outlines for stories now.
It's one of those things. I think everyone has that. Thank goodness for cell phones with all the smart apps where we can just start jotting stuff down immediately. It's great. And you talked about a horror project you're working on, but then there's also the feature film. You've got a large role in Bashira. And I said, I know you can't talk too much about it, but that's got to be very exciting. You're working on some projects and you're probably drawing inspiration from these other things, and you're working with such great talent. Talk a little bit about how does the writing part of your brain switch off when you're working on somebody else's project, or are you still kind of subconsciously seeping information in and kind of like, oh, this would be cool to kind of work something like this in, and how do you draw that line? We're going to come back and talk more with Alana de Freitas right after this. Please stand by.
This is Leslie Ann Brunt. I play Mazikeen on Lucifer, and you're listening to Geek to Me Radio.
Welcome back. This show, Geek to Me Radio, would not be possible without the support of our sponsors, and the premier sponsor who has been with us since the beginning, who has never failed. They've been wonderful, and we want you to visit their website. It's discoverstcharles.com. Discover St. Charles is a great website. If you're looking to plan a trip, you want to go check out someplace you've not been before, maybe you've made a New Year's resolution to travel more, to experience new destinations, which is a great New Year's resolution, St. Charles can definitely help you with that. Just a great place to visit. If you're from outside the state, maybe you're coming across the country, you're going to travel Route 66, you can pop into St. Charles. And there's something there for everyone. There are kids who will have a great time. The adults will take advantage of the amenities there. It's a fantastic place if you're a history buff to check out all the history that's steeped in St. Charles. If you're traveling Route 66, you're probably a history buff anyway. That's kind of a fun thing to do. We just had some friends of ours do that and they loved it. Well, you want to check out Historic St. Charles for more cool things as well. If you're a foodie, there are just fantastic restaurants up and down the street. We have a new Salt and Smoke, which is right there, but there's also charming little places like the Magpies restaurant in the 900 block. If you're got a sweet tooth, you want to satisfy that sweet tooth, you check out the Sweet Shop in North Main. Just all sorts of places to go. You're not going to find food like this everywhere. And the shopping is world class. There are places you'll find that are just fantastic places that you might be able to get gifts for someone you're looking for something for that person, and they might have it in St. Charles. It's worth the trip. And if you're from the St. Louis area, if you're here in the state, then you really have no excuse to go check out St. Charles. New Year's resolution or not, come check it out. A fantastic time. We always say it's an historically good time will be had by all. And that website again, discoverstcharles.com. stcharles.com. Before we went to break, we were talking with actor, director, producer, writer Alana de Freitas, and we mentioned when she's working on these projects, how does she compartmentalize her creative brain as she switches between projects?
Like when you're, a lot of the time when, as an actor, and I won't even say that it's the writing part of your brain, because this part was there well before I ever started writing, but sometimes you get sides to learn and you're like, ooh, this is like really bad or really cringy writing. And that's part of your job as an actor, like just make it work. Mm-hmm. But your mind definitely goes to, oh, I wish I could say it this way, or I wonder if I'll be able to improvise this a little bit. But yeah, like, writing has been like a great outlet for me. You mentioned Bashira. So Bashira is like, I kind of think that it's going to be similar, not similar to The Grudge, but similar kind of realm as The Grudge, but like with an EDM soundtrack. And so my character, I'm like the nasty stepmom, and my family, in particular, my stepdaughter, is kind of plagued by this curse called Bashira, and so it kind of like wreaks havoc in our life. So yeah, I'm super excited to see that, because the director of that, Nixon Fong, he's an Academy Award-winning visual effects artist, and the film has a lot of VFX, and yeah, I think it's going to be really special. I'm excited about it. It was my first time doing horror, my first time doing blood gags with all the special effects makeup and whatever, and green screen stuff. So that was a really interesting process for me. I really enjoyed it.
And then we mentioned the switching gears, going to Cash Collectors, which I believe is mostly in pre-production, but you're working with Michael Madsen, Angie Everhart, John Messner, some real all-star talent on that comedic role. That's got to be, are you ever intimidated? Some of the people you're working with are not that you're not a talent, but some of these people like have been around for a while. Like
around
Michael
for a long time, yeah.
Do you switch off the intimidation factor? Is it not a thing because you're all professionals, or does it ever kind of bubble up a little bit?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to lie and say it's not there. It definitely enters my mind, but I think once you get on set, you're just like, don't screw up my lines. Like that kind of your own fear about yourself takes over. And more than anything, it's exciting. Like, you're excited to meet those people and learn from them and see what they bring to the role, and what, because you've read the screenplay, but getting to see what their interpretation of it is. So that's always a lot of fun. Cash Collectors is about a reality TV series that is in its third season, and so my character is one of the showrunners of that program, and so it's about contestants who on live television forcibly collect from people who've defaulted on their debts. So yeah, I think it's going to be pretty funny. The script is amazing, so I'm excited about it.
On your bucket list, if you had to pick, you've mentioned before some actors you admire, 3 actors who you hope to work with. Is there someone who's like, oh, I'd love to work with?
Oh my God, only 3. I think Timothée Chalamet is amazing. Would definitely like to do something with him. Maybe like Michelle Williams for sure is there. And maybe like a Ryan Gosling or something like that. Yeah, let's go with those.
And so when you're not writing, when you're not acting, what do you do for your downtime? Do you binge stuff on Netflix? Are you a reader? What do you like to do when you're not working?
I do read. I do watch television. I like to get out and be social with my friends, or like hang out by the pool in the hot tub or whatever. I have been binge watching a bit of TV lately. Television is so good these days. It's such high quality, and it's a trap. They put all the episodes out at once, and it's addictive. But yeah, I just finished the second season of The End of the Effing World 2. And some of my favorite shows just ended, The Affair and The Deuce. So, yeah, I'll be looking for new stuff soon.
Well, then, like you said, there's no shortage of it. Now that Disney Plus especially has all everything, so there's no shortage of TV.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Let everybody know where they can find you if they want to research more of you and your career. I know you're on Instagram. You've got a website. Tell everybody where they can find you out there online.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look up my projects, they're all on IMDb. It's just searching my name. My website as well as my name, alanadefreitas.com, ALANA. De Freitas is DEFREITAS. And my Instagram, same thing, is Alana_de Freitas. And my Twitter is Alana de Freitas, all one word. So, yeah, that's where you can get me.
And I will say, I looked on your Instagram page. You've got some pictures. Are you a Spice Girls fan?
I am a big Spice Girl fan. My friends and I, we were all Spice Girls for Halloween. So that was a lot of fun reliving 1996.
That was a fantastic picture. So I'm a Spice Girls fan. I saw them live in concert. I'm not ashamed to say when they came to town. So
that's awesome.
But it's been a pleasure talking with you, and continued success. We can't wait to see Bashira and, of course, Cash Collectors. Alana de Freitas, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're going to take our next break. We're going to come right back, start talking to our next guest, the community manager for Cereal Box, Rachel Pinnelas. Stand by.
Hi there, this is Tara Strong, also known as Harley Quinn, or Raven, and you're listening to Geek to Me Radio.
Welcome back to the show. Our guest now is involved with Cereal Box, which is a fantastic thing. If you're familiar with Big Finish, they do these audio dramas, and they hooked me up with the Thor one and a few other ones, and they're great. We talked with Helly Kennedy earlier in, I guess I should say last year, or the end of last year, about Orphan Black series. Well, now they're getting the Marvel stuff, and we talked a little bit with Rachel about that. We're joined now by the community manager for CerealBox.com, Rachel Pinnelas. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Very excited. I just listened to Thor, Metal Gods on CerealBox.com. The first episode is free right now. So if you haven't heard it, get out and hear it so you can get sucked into the series like I did. It was amazing. Congratulations on the launch.
Thank you. It's really exciting. It's been a long time coming to be able to share it with everyone. So it's really awesome to hear the reception and hear it because that's what we do. We're audio and ebook company.
And it's got to be very exciting. You're partnering with Marvel, who obviously is hot right now. The cinematic universe, starting back in 2008. I don't think anybody foresaw that it would grow into this, no pun intended, juggernaut that it's become.
Yeah.
to be partnered with them. How long ago did you, CerealBox.com, I should say, set everything up? And how long did you have to sit there and wait on this news before you could scream it to everybody that you've got it?
Oh, so I don't know if I could speak to how long the whole process of the partnership went on, but it was announced in March that the partnership was happening and the titles were happening. And then between March and the summer, we announced which character titles that we'd be doing, beginning with Thor. And so now it's public knowledge. There's Thor, Black Widow will be next, and then there's Jessica Jones and Black Panther.
I'm very excited for Jessica Jones as well.
Yes. So unfortunately, I'm still sitting on a lot of news about those titles, but thankfully, I am just unleashed on the world now to talk about Thor. So, and that's really exciting.
It is. And Thor and Loki, of course, you can't have one without the other.
No. And we open with Loki.
Yes.
I mean, his introduction to this story is the most metal thing possible. I don't know how much more metal you can get when you're the lead guitarist. And then I don't want to spoil anything, but you know, he is a rock star. He acts like a rock star. He acts as one would expect Loki to act as a rock star.
Not only a leading guitarist, but a leading guitarist in the 80s in London in a rock band.
In London, yes.
Even better.
Yeah. I mean, he knows where to go where the culture's at. So that whole scene was obviously very alluring to him, as we come to find. And then there were some other characters that were quite, they found it alluring as well. And now we've got an adventure.
And I was looking up the names, one of the writers, Aaron Stewart-on, I was like, that name looks so familiar. He wrote Mandy, the movie that just came out with Nicolas Cage, which was brilliant.
Yes.
I love that movie.
Yes, we have such an awesome, diverse writers' room for the Thor series. So Aaron Stewart-on is lead writer here, and he and Yoon-Ha Lee did the first episode that we're talking about. And then there's Brian Keane and Jay Edidin. So we've got a room that is comprised of people that come from a screenwriting background, a comics background, prose, horror, adventure, sci-fi. We cover the gamut of just really amazing genre strengths.
It's like you've got the Fantastic Four of writers right there with all their different strengths they're pulling in to form this perfect team for this particular project.
Agreed. I mean, and with the characters that we have in the series, because there's so many different strengths and quirks about the characters in terms of what, Loki can do and his abilities, and Thor, and then you have our tiger goddess, Harangi, and then Zia, who is just too cool. So, it's a wonderful medley of characters and incredible writers.
And I love the little, even in the first episode, a little Easter egg. You mentioned Lila Cheney, who is obviously in the X-Men comics in the 80s. We kind of knew her with the Starjammers and everything like that. That's neat little things. So we can expect things like that throughout this, I think.
You can expect series. Yes, 15, actually.
Okay.
15 episodes. And yes, you can expect a lot of fun Easter egg Marvel cameos. Because we're on Midgard at one time or another at many times, different eras. And then we're in space and Asgard. So there's a lot of the universe to cover.
And with this being just launched, last week, I think? Was it
Thursday? Yeah, last Thursday.
Okay. So how have the reception been? Did you get, was there like a number of downloads you guys wanted to be, the launch to be a success? How were you guys gauging this, looking at numbers? What was the threshold for, yes, this is exactly what we wanted? And we're going to come right back, get her answer after this, so stand by.
You'll behold in breathless wonder the God of thunder, mighty Thor.
Just as he gained his footing, Thor raised an open hand. With a keen sound of whistling metal, Mjolnir jumped the short distance from his belt into his waiting fist. Thor instantly crouched into a defensive position, struggling to assess the danger he knew was out there. But he saw only snow and darkness. Then the first blow came. From behind, it blasted him off his feet and he flew forward. Impressive, he thought, as the wind was knocked out of him. He landed deftly, his boots sliding across snow, and he turned, Mjolnir already swinging. The hammer connected with a dull thud. He pulled back again and swung, deflecting more sharp, bony points larger than his hammer, curved like scimitars, each one razor-sharp. Claws. Billowing hot breath came from his attacker's mouth, mixing with the wild drifts of snow. More scimitars, the jaws of a vicious and gargantuan animal. The teeth snapped at him in lunging, impossibly rapid bites. Scalding saliva dripped onto his skin. One bite came too close. As the mouth surged in again, Thor swung upwards, a blunt hammer uppercut. Mjolnir slammed the fanged mouth shut. The beast retorted with a wild snarl and retreated into the murky depths of the blizzard. A burst of red flame erupted. All the snowflakes in the air vaporized in a dome around them. Thor could see perfectly now. The creature was a tiger 3 times his size. It was growling and hissing, and a tempest of supernatural fire the color of rose petals in summer, or blood, engulfed its body.
We're back. This segment brought to you by Marcus Theaters, marcustheaters.com. They've got their big push for you to go see all the Academy Award nominated movies. I love doing that. You take a Saturday and you plunk down a very nominal fee and you get to see all the Academy Award nominated movies 2 Saturdays back to back, because there are a few extra contenders now that they've changed things in the past. I guess 5 years ago, they added a few more categories, or not categories, but spaces for the best picture, but you can see them all at Marcus Theaters. Check out the website. There's a link right there. You can find the one playing this closest to you, marcustheaters.com. They've been with us for quite a while now, and honestly, I love the Marcus brand. They came in and renovated the Warenberg theaters, if you're in the greater St. Louis area, and they've completely revolutionized how you see movies here in St. Louis. It is first class between the heated seats. Just got done seeing 1917, the film, at their De Pere location. We saw Star Wars Rise of Skywalkers when it came out. Rise of Skywalkers, listen to me. Rise of Skywalker, well, there are more than one. Obviously, there's Leia, but I don't want to spoil the movie in case you haven't seen it. Regardless, we saw it at the Marcus Theater location for the Ronnie's cinema, and it's just great. I love seeing movies. I love going out and seeing movies anyway. It's just a fantastic thing to go out and see movies, to just immerse yourself in that theater experience. You get the popcorn, you lean back in the lounge, you got the big screen up front, they got the Dolby surround sound, and movies, going to the theater has always been something I've always enjoyed, and Marcus Theaters makes it even more enjoyable, if that's even possible. Check out the website, plan which movies you want to see, check out the concessions list so you know if they got a Take 5 lounge or not, if they've got the dine-in theaters where you can have dinner and a movie all right there in the comfort of the theater, and buy your tickets right there online as well, marcustheaters.com. Make sure you go check them out. And we know you're going to have a fantastic time if you see your movie at a Marcus location. We're talking with Rachel Pinnelas, the community manager for Cereal Box. And before we went to break, we're asking her how exactly they measure the success of these projects like Thor Metal Gods.
Well, the threshold is that people are interested. So then there was a resounding, really excited response to when that first episode came out. What was really exciting was to see people who had been waiting for it sharing with us screenshots of the email that they got when the episode went live, if they had already signed up on the website or through the app, because yes, you can read and listen on our website, but we also have an app that not only did we launch Thor, the first episode last week, but we updated the app too. So it was a really big week. And so there's this, amazing new content and amazing new look to the app, which is available on iOS and Android. So just seeing that response of people downloading it, reacting to it, and then sharing with us their excitement that it's in their library. So that was really cool to see, and I'm really looking forward to doing that, for 14 more episodes.
And as I alluded to earlier on, it's the popularity of Marvel right now. It doesn't show any signs of slowing down. And with the all the people who are interested in podcasts and audiobooks and the convenience of having the app listen to it in the car when they're on their commute, this has to be like the perfect storm for you guys right now.
I mean, it's I think that having this particular partnership is ideal, because for people who might not necessarily be interested in podcasts, but they're interested in the characters, this is something that would be really exciting for them. For people who are interested in the characters, but maybe really not have gotten into audiobooks, this is a really cool way for them to go, oh, well, this is what this is all about. So there's a lot of different crossover audiences that we can reach to here. So that's been really exciting too.
And I know we were talking before we started the interview, we were talking about some of the original products you guys have, like Exquisite Corpse and Dead Air, God and Lies. And then we had Haley Kennedy on talking about Orphan Black, which was a continuation. So I know you've already said you can't tell us too much, but can you reveal whether or not Jessica Jones that you guys are doing, is it going to pick up where the Netflix series left off? Is it an extension, a completely different universe?
It's not a completely different universe. So what was awesome and interesting about our Orphan Black series is that not only was it the official continuation of where the story left off after the finale, but that Tatiana Maslany herself narrated it.
Yes.
So not only did you, meet all the characters again, you got to meet them with Tatiana doing the voices, the narration, and then some, new clones. So that was really incredible. But as for Jessica Jones, so the Marvel Netflix universe is distinct. So the universe where our multiple series, take place in is the series that the comics, the status quo, Marvel universe. I know we're not supposed to officially say 616, but, that universe that the characters best in, that's where we're operating out of.
Gotcha.
Whereas, and I really love that Netflix series. Kristen Ritter is awesome.
Yes.
And Rachel Taylor. The relationship between Jessica and Trish was really special. I loved watching that. But and Marvel and Netflix have kind of made it clear too, now that unfortunately that those series have all concluded, was that, it's kind of a unique universe unto itself. It didn't really, they weren't very, clear about how they even connected to the Avengers movies. They would just say, that event in New York, but they could have just been referring to a blackout. It's New York. So, whereas, as you saw, if you follow the S.H.I.E.L.D. series, there were very, very obvious crossovers.
Oh yeah, Samuel L. Jackson showing up. Yeah,
exactly, and obviously Clark Gregg.
Right.
But because that was like ABC, Network, Disney, Netflix is its own universe. So, if while you're reading and listening to Jessica Jones, you are imagining that incredible world that was created within the show, that's not terrible.
Right.
But our universe, where our part of the universe is firmly in the universe that people are accustomed to with Jessica in the comics.
And serialbox.com is the website. It's serial, S-E-R-I-A, like a cereal box.com.
Yes.
And
because we're serialized fiction.
Exactly. And the Thor, the first episode we did mention, is free. Is that going to be something we can continue to see with like Black Widow when you launch it next in this winter coming up here in 2020?
Yes, actually, and not just with these Marvel titles, but all of our titles on the site. The first episode on the site and the app. The first episode is free.
Perfect. And I will say the narration on Thor: Metal Gods by Daniel Gillies was perfect, pitch perfect for my tastes.
He's obviously I'm a little biased given the subject matter, but I agree. It's incredible to hear the voices that he's doing for all the distinct characters, and the narration that he's doing overall just makes such an exciting world. And the accents and the inflections that he's doing with Thor and Loki, it's so wonderful to listen to.
Yeah, and I will say, because I had it on in the background as I was doing some other things, and I found myself, suddenly I'm just sitting there in my chair just listening to it, kind of staring at the computer. So I'm not sure if I'd be able to concentrate on driving my car and listening to it through the app. It's a little dangerous, maybe.
Okay, so then hopefully, great, we do not want that to happen. So, a bus ride, a train ride.
Yeah, there you go. A nice plane, getting on a plane somewhere.
Definitely on a plane, yes. So we've got you covered.
And look, we mentioned all the things. You've also got the Flash Rogues, so you've got DC and Marvel. You've got all the original titles. You've got Orphan Black. What is there a project like? If someone were to come to you directly and say, Rachel, we're going to get another Marvel character. What's your pick? What do you want us to do? What would you say? We're going to come right back, wrapping up the show, finishing off our day with Rachel Pinnelas. Stand by. Hi, this is James Enstall, host of Geek to Me Radio, and in honor of my favorite Themyscirian, I've decided to become an Amazon warrior.
Hera, give me strength.
The next time you want to buy something from Amazon, go to geektomeradio.com first and click on our Amazon affiliate link. Simply shop like you normally would, and when you check out, a small percentage will go towards supporting the show. So remember, the next time you want to search Amazon for the latest Wonder Woman graphic novel or parts for your invisible jet, click through from geektomeradio.com first.
The world was in peril. Would you have me stand by and do nothing? Hello. This is Lucy Davis. I play Etta Candy in Wonder Woman, and this is Geek to Me Radio. Come and listen. We're very, very nice.
And we're back for our last segment. Before we went to break, we were talking with Rachel Pinnelas, the community manager for Cereal Box, and we asked her if she was to get to pick any Marvel character to be the crux, the center of their next project, who would she pick?
Oh, I mean, everyone knows that Doctor Strange is my favorite character.
Yes.
So I would probably ask for that. Definitely get some Sorcerer Supreme goodness in there. Doctor Strange is great, but it would also be really fun to play with more of the X-Men as well.
Yeah. And now that license is back with Marvel, who knows?
That is a very good. I wasn't even thinking that. I was just being, selfish of thinking about my girl, Rachel Gray. I think.
Oh yeah,
she's such a cool character.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about what's actually been happening in the comics with what Hickman's doing and the Marauder stuff with Kitty. So, yes, I would like to see Doctor Strange series. I think that there's a lot of things that could be really cool on Cereal Box with that, with magic and traveling across the world and the universe. So that would be a lot of fun.
And I think the Chris Claremont, Mark Silvestri run on X-Men was one of my favorites. So if ever they pitch a long shot Dazzler cerealbox.com series, please let me know.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, since you've listened to the first episode of Thor, obviously music has a really big component in this series. And so Dazzler, that would be perfect.
Yes.
Dazzler would be a wonderful addition, and she would bring so much music to our ears.
So it could be the sequel to be Long Shot and Dazzler Mojo Gods.
Oh gosh, yes. I mean,
Mojo World.
We've got Lila shows up. This crossover is writing itself.
It needs to happen.
There's some people that I can talk to, and
Perfect.
I think I will.
Well, it's been a real pleasure to talk to you. Again, congratulations on the launch. I love Thor Metal God. You can find it on cerealbox.com, and I know people can follow Cereal Box on Twitter and across, I think, all the social media at Cerealbox Pub, P-U-B, correct?
Yes, PU. So it's at Cerealbox and then PUB Pub, and that's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
And if people want to find more about you and keep up with you, are you also on the social medias?
I am. I am Rachelsance on Twitter, which is Rachel plus Renaissance, and that's RACHEAISSANCE. I didn't make it easy, I know, but it sounds really cool.
It does. It's very nice. I like the combination.
Thank you. Yeah. Portmanteaus were really popular, about, 10 years ago when I made the account. So, everyone was mashing their name up with like a band name or a robot. And so I just went, I really liked this era of culture. So that will be fine.
Perfect. It's definitive and unique. That's perfect.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yes. But yes, please find us at Cereal Box Pub across the socials and our app as well.
Yes, definitely download the app so you can get it all on your phone, so you can listen to it on a plane ride or a train or a car commute. But even with the hands-free, the car is a great place to listen to this. I can't wait to hear what else we get from Chapter 2 going forward with Thor Metal Gods.
And we're 2 days away, so I'm excited to share it with you.
Well, congratulations again on the launch of this and the app. Rachel Pinnelas, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thanks. It was great talking.
You too. Take care. And that's going to do it. Another show in the books. My thanks once again to Alana de Freitas and Rachel Pinnelas for joining us, being part of Geek to Me Radio. If you'd like to be a part of Geek to Me Radio, check us out on Patreon. You can support the show. There's all sorts of perks and benefits for doing so. Please make sure you're following us on Twitter and Instagram at Geek to Me Radio, Facebook.com/Geek to Me Radio. Give the page a like there. We always appreciate it. We'd love to hear from you. Know you're keeping up with us, what you think of the show. Be kind, of course. And until next week, my friends.
It's not in the way you watch iZombie. It's not in the way you watch The Flash. It's not in the way you love Scotty Young Art. It's not in the way you play Mario Kart. It's not in the way you look when you make Game of Thrones references. That's our show. This is Geek to Me Radio. That's our show. This is Geek to Me Radio.
Thank you, Asgard. Good night.